Yeah, absolutely. And as we load now onto the rift for our first game here of the spring playoffs, we have BYG representing the PCS up against V3 from the LJL. And their first showing here, we have a little dance-off. This is actually a driver special. I noticed him and Jiang, I think, are the two top laners who are most likely to just sit here doing this.
He actually went to auto Cassante, but cancelled it. Very honorable.
Yeah, very honorable. And it is going to be that first strike, Futures Market, triple tonic, something that we often do see coming out of the Rumble into the Cassante. You don't really pressure kills unless Cassante looks for an all-out, at which point you pretty much just win, and so you just sit up here stacking gold through first strike, and you feel pretty good about yourself. Press the attack on the Volibear roughly when you get the Shojin. It's sort of like thereafter, not too far after, and at which point you just become very, very strong. And it also just helps you get to your rapid-fire cannon anyway, so we'll see. As we are now back into the game, sorry about that slight disruption.
I think it was a microphone issue for V3, but sorted out. And now we are ready for what might be a very scary early game for Feng. So Volibear has started on his bot side, so I wonder if this means he's going to cross map. It would make sense to me, unless he plans to gank this Rumble and shut him down early game.
Okay. Bit of damage onto Stay True, but he's feeling okay to just return it, and honestly, fairly decent trade in favor of BYG there.
Yeah, Smolder not really able to take extended trades. So you maybe just need some levels on the Kaisa and the Nautilus. Chase him down with lethal tempo. Because he actually, you know, we're talking about shutting the champion down early. He's not terrible in the early game.
Yeah, he's very good at short trades. If he's able to just get off an auto attack in a queue, maybe two auto attacks, then it generally is a pretty decent trade for the Smolder. Does have a lot of mana issues in the early stage of the game, though. Really, until you get that Essence Reaver, it is quite hard to make sure you're keeping up on stacks while making sure you don't go and the cookies help a little bit, as well as the presence of mind, but you do have to be very mindful of that.
Yeah, maybe Driver is going to get caught off guard here, not expecting the Volibear here, because Husha has pathed down to bot.
He does have the ward.
Probably expecting to need to protect his bot lane.
Okay. Health advantage in the mid lane here for Ace, but is out of mana now, so 116 will have a bit of an easier time. Volibear headed back bot side. Looks like we might have a contest over the bot side. Scuttle Crab, and 116 actually has prio. Again, there is no mana available here on Ace's Orianna, so this should just be Crab given over to Husha.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, nice move by Stay True there. I don't think they really had priority in the bottom lane. He just moved to help his jungler, but they don't end up getting the Crab, so kind of what you wanted out of that play for V3 anyway. Nautilus does eventually make his way up, and this lane state might be pretty bad for Beyond.
Yeah, this is a very hard place to be. Crashdown should be available here for Stay True, and it will be. So we'll not be really under too much pressure there. Just a bit of damage, but not all that bad. Yeah, this is a very bad lane state, though. I think it is pushing back. A few auto attacks on the wave means it should be.
And we did talk about this being a good Sejuani game for Husha. It's only a good game for Sejuani if you can actually play around your solo laner melee champ.
Yeah, this is a bad spot to be as a Cassante. I mean, we've seen Cassantes pull off some wild 1v2s, but he is awfully low on mana. And quite a lot of just free lockdown can come through. Goes popped. A lot of damage coming through. Does go unstoppable. Will he be able to get out? No, he will not. Path make it. Not going to be good enough for the damage reduction. But here comes HRK. It's going to be traded back. So it's 1-for-1. But notably, a lot of minions are going to be lost here for Tana on that Cassante.
Yeah. Well played by HRK to get back up there. Sejuani can just tank that tower for so long.
Cassante teleported mid.
Oh.
Oh, and Feng and Stay True have taken down Hedel in the bot lane. Feng getting quite low there. Lethal Tempo is procced, and Stay True is going to have to remount, but should feel okay.
Wow, okay. I am surprised by the TP mid as well.
Yeah, me too. It feels like it's going to be hard for him to get back to his lane now. Have to see if it's slow pushing to drive or not. Oh, wow.
Okay, so Nautilus pushes his W to shield up, and Stay True Flash Qs onto him, removes his shield, and they pick up a kill in a lane that I don't think they have any business winning early game with. That's going to help Feng out a lot, as, you know, he's down 10 CS, 11 CS, would have been down more, you know, without that kill going over, and has the kill gold now.
And this lane state is a bit rough for Tana on the top side as well. 116. Oh, he dodges out of that shockwave, but Hetel is going to be here. He's looking for that Q3.
No shockwave, though.
Dash available for himself now, and Fate's Call, he'll hold it on to that one.
And I think if you're Beyond, if you get any of these early dragons, it's going to help you a lot stalling for this Smolder. And also, maybe your solo laners can just take over in the side lane this game.
Yeah, well, Driver currently sits at almost double the CS of Tana. Something we've seen him accomplish a lot, of course, on this Rumble. So BYG are going to be the ones to pick themselves up an early dragon. Certainly helps when your Smolder starts the game with a nice and early kill and find yourself at a 700 gold advantage.
Yeah.
Of course. And looks like we're going to be back onto the rift. BYG do pick themselves up that Ocean Dragon, so not the earliest, but certainly pretty nice to have on the board at 7 minutes.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot of that. If Beyond are in the driver's seat this game, they're not going to be in a rush to get a soul. That's not really their win condition. They're probably just going to leave dragons up a lot of the time. I think we saw CFO doing that a lot.
Yeah.
Where the dragon was up, they had control of the map, they just didn't hit it. When you've got the outscaling comp, you can just slow the game down. So we'll see if HRK on the Volibear gets level 6 off of these two camps here. He is level 6 off the Gromp, so he has an opportunity to make a play bot now. Only level 4 on Stay True.
Okay. So it was V3 picking up one of the Void Grubs rather. I didn't notice that before, but they do have one of them. Obviously the other two are just there, and Husha, instead of going for them, is just looking for an invade.
Yes, should be able to pick up this red before Volibear gets here.
Seems like it might be close, but Driver is just so much priority in his lane that even if Volibear does get here, it doesn't feel that good. Alright.
Manages to save his smite too, so should be hard to contest him on these Void Grubs now.
So should be the Void Grubs 1 and 2 picked up here for BYG. And of course, the Void Grubs really do become powerful at sort of getting that 5th one, getting that 6th one. They won't be able to get 6, of course, but honestly, you need to hit towers if you want to win a game of League of Legends, so just having even 2 of them feels pretty good.
Yeah, and that is just the first set of Void Grubs, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get a couple more Void Grubs for this Rumble, he's going to be a problem in the side lane against, you know, this Cassante, who he has permanent priority hook onto Rel, though.
Yeah, Stay True looks like he might be caught out. He's trying to get himself out, but it doesn't look like he will be able to. Aftershock not going to provide enough resistances. There's a kill found. It's going to go over to HRK, who finds himself 2-0 now on this Volibear.
Yeah, and honestly, more importantly than the kill is going to be being able to shut Feng out of farming for a while. Beyond look like they maybe want to fight for this.
Ooh, Smite. Looks like HRK did manage to get that one for himself. Now, maybe back to normality.
Yeah, they managed to take away a red buff. They could have maybe just zoned Feng off of the tower, got some tower damage, but they decided to just take the red buff and a Raptor camp. I don't know how well Volibear uses resources, to be honest. But it is pretty good for him. He's 2-0. Stealing away 2 camps never hurts as well. Maybe a fight top lane.
Yeah, Pathmaker going to be used, but dodging out there, then on top of his strike. Mum does come down. Void Seeker going to be dodged away from, but it looks like we might have our first Stormbringer. HRK looking for Feng. There is Ghost, there is Flash, but it's not going to be enough. Nice crash down, does stun up too, but in comes HRK. That's another kill found, and Benny's actually going to be the one that picks that one up. Stay true as well. Going to have to flash on out of there, and a nice play. They're finding their way to shut down Smolder as Benny now. He's up 20 CS, got himself a kill as well. Husha, though, he's looking to answer back here on the top side.
Yeah, Feng lost both his sums as well.
Tana quite healthy. 116 going to be here as well. Is Tana, is he going to be able to survive? It looks like he might just be able to, but Husha will survive. And unfortunately, this Cassante is being punished on the opposite side of the map as BYG get Driver even more gold to his name.
Yeah, it does suck for Tana there to not get the consolation kill, but I don't think it would have made a massive difference. Maybe let him get to his return faster. Though, in the grand scheme of things, you know, in the isolation, looking at that cross-map play, you'd still rather be V3. You got both sums out of the Smolder, killed him, and got some plates onto your Kaisa. You're pretty happy with that. Cassante does have TP to get back up to his lane.
And looking at total gold around the Rift, it really is Driver that is the entirety of the gold lead that BYG currently have. Yeah. 1,000 above the next highest, which was Benny, so certainly isn't like this game is completely over. If Driver does get found, if he gets shut down a little bit, then all of a sudden V3 are going to be feeling pretty good. Permafrost does connect, but Ace is able to flash on out of there before it's going to cause him any real harm.
Yeah, it looks like mid laners traded ults earlier, so the flash is enough to get Ace out of there. And Husha didn't have to ulti for that, so that's pretty good. His ult's going to be coming up soon. I still think it's pretty risky to... Oh, it's not too risky because Cassante doesn't have TP actually, so beyond probably just getting this dragon. Driver did save his TP.
Oh, Hook connects, but does he really want this? At least for now it looks okay, but here comes the teleport. This will be 116 or Driver it is. Equalizer does remain up, and Stormcaller going to be used from HRK, and all of a sudden your Volibear, that is so much of your team's gold, is currently half HP without an ult, and it feels like now this dragon is but a sure thing for BYG. Oh,
and notice the Knight's Vow on Sejuani. Everyone has just started rushing this item. It's the new Frozen Heart. Every jungler and support, even. I think I saw Genji build 2 of them. Chuck one on the top laner, one on the ADC. And I don't think it even got touched in the patch notes. Maybe Rel's in trouble.
Yeah, this is a 3v1, but Crashdown comes through, and that's a really nice Magnet Storm. 3 people all getting locked up in that. Benny, he's going to flash away, but he's going to be having that Q on him. Gets taken out. That's 3 kills now in favor of BYG. And Ace, he has no flash, but he is able to ensure himself safe. But now there's a 3-in-1 Smolder that you're facing up against.
Yeah, that's a disaster. Kaisa lost her flash as well. We're going to see what happens. It's just an engage onto the Rel here. Then he starts the fight at half HP, and Feng just finds his way onto him. Oh, it was such a nice re-engage by Stay True. Or I guess counter-engage. TP from Ace comes out too late to really have any impact on the fight. So, going to be a very scary Smolder. Honestly, I don't really feel like the kills on Smolder matter all that much. He's still not really going to take over the game before he gets his stacks. But it definitely doesn't hurt.
Definitely doesn't. I mean, getting to your Shojin makes you a little bit tankier. It gives you more cooldown reduction, so you do just get the stacks quicker.
Yeah. I want to get to that point where you're one-shotting backline with Q.
Yeah. Now, will we have a fight over the Rift here? It would be very PCS-like for there to be one.
Yeah.
No flash yet for Stay True, but it is very close to being up. And of course, Benny lost both of his sums. 116 does have teleport advantage in terms of the mid laner as well.
Sedgel coming up very soon. They're maybe trying to stall till that comes up.
All through will come. Mama's going to land onto all 4 members. 116 as well, teleporting into that Raptor pit, trying to look for that Q3. Equalizer comes through from Driver. The Smite is going to secure the Rift Shield in favor of V3. But now Smolder is unleashed on his backline. It's a triple kill. He's not even got that evolution, and he's popping absolutely off. All out coming through here now from Tana. But is it too late? Too little? It sure looks like it. Could be a quadra kill. Feng now dominating on the Smolder, 4,000 damage in that team fight, and there is a massive problem on the Rift.
Yeah, he opened up that team fight by just half-healthing Benny. Benny, you see there, 600 damage this fight, didn't get to do anything at all, and Feng just apparently doesn't need his evolve on the Smolder. Yeah, watch Benny's on the Kai'Sa, his HP bar just vanishes immediately, and then Driver follows up with a really nice Rumble ult. I think hitting 3 at least. No, just zoning Kai'Sa into the pit there, and then he's quickly cleaned up. Tana too weak to really do anything to Driver. Maybe a pre-nerf Cassante could do something in that isolated 1v1 and trade a kill back onto Driver, but he is very behind either way.
Oh, there is a massive, massive problem now that V3 have, and that is a 7-1 Smolder. Now, is that 2 items? It looks like they might be able to pick themselves up a tower.
Yeah, they did still, nice smite from HRK, still secured the Herald, and they pick up a tower.
Get the kill on Husha as well, so it wasn't all for nothing, but...
Yeah, it just does suck to give essentially a quadra over to this Molder, who now has a 700 gold shutdown.
Absolutely. Now, Ace, he's looking a little bit vulnerable at this tower. Looks like command dissonance should mean that he does not really face too much trouble. Flash available here for Stay True on the Raoul. Nice shockwave onto 116, but he does buffer it pretty nicely there with the Fate's Call and ensures that he is going to be okay and live to fight another day. HRK is going to get aggressive with that Sky Splitter. Stormcaller as well, going to be used here. Stay True does manage to land the stun. Does find his way in. It's a 2-man magnet. Storm through comes Mum. It's on to 3. Biddy has lost his entire health bar. He's lost even more than now that Drivers dropped that Equalizer, dropped that Flame Splitter. Flash forward from Husha now as Ace is trying to limp away from this fight. All Out's bought another member right next to him. And now Tana might have just doomed his mid laner. The kill doesn't look like it's going to come through, but it's a quadra kill and 1 tick of damage away from a penta there for Driver on this Rumble.
Yeah, Driver is sick of Feng taking the spotlight, is reminding everyone why his Rumble gets banned.
That's the Magi's.
Yeah, picks up a Magi's after his recall. And still Feng doing the majority of his team's damage there, but a great fight from Driver. So looks like they're just running at the Sejuani row, thinking they are on their own, but Driver does have teleport, and it means that Feng is just free to hit.
Look at that. Yeah. Sweet spot on the Smolder roll.
Yeah. Wow, and just Flame Spitter running at 3 people. Ult lands onto 2 from Driver.
He just delivers Driver to his triple.
Yeah. And then he picks up Volibear on the end here, almost gets himself a pentakill.
Oh, Driver reaction. Well, this is kind of a
mild,
mundane one. Yeah, usually he gets all... Camera goes flying off his computer. He starts baseball batting. 4 members now are up here against him. This is what happens when you buy a Magi's. He's almost killed HRK. HRK will be able to get out, and Driver will be going down. The curse of purchasing Magi's will strike once again. That's an empty book, but it was 4 people all committed to being able to take him out.
Yeah, and I think he might have dealt like 3 or 4k damage back in that exchange, almost killing Nautilus and Volibear. It's nice to get the kill and a big shutdown. I didn't see who it actually went to.
Went to Ace.
That is probably who you want it on, but your tempo just gets completely destroyed when you make that kind of play, especially if you lose too much health to be able to really push or anything. So they do lose bot. They don't actually lose the mid turret, but they lose bot tier 2 and the dragon. Soul point now for Beyond, and it's looking pretty grim for V3.
For sure. 210 stacks currently is what we see on Feng's Smolder, so pretty much if any fight were to happen, he is just going to get that full evolution midway through it.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 more waves, or, you know, a wave and a fight. Yeah, he's already made it, and honestly, it didn't really feel like he needed to make it this game. He was putting out so much damage on the Smolder. And it is this build we were talking about. I guess we were right about the build. I don't think he even had the Shojin for most of those fights.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was like the Essence Reaver and then maybe the Warhammer.
Yeah, he was just picking up triple kills.
V3, this really isn't your jungle anymore by the looks of it, as Husha is just walking fast at the Nautilus. Hettel does manage to at least survive with most of his HP.
And when you get your Evolve on Smolder and you've already got Rapid Fire, I think that's sometimes... Oh,
nice shockwave onto 2. Dredgeline also going to be following up. Statue hasn't gone down yet. He manages to get out the Magnet Storm and that crash down. And now through comes Driver with all this damage. It's going to be Fing as well, picking up 1 on the back end. And all of a sudden, it's a 4v3 in favor of BYG. Benny also pretty low. And it was Tana committing that teleport to the backside of that fight, but not really finding a way in.
Yeah.
Now Baron going to be started up for BYG. They do not have their ultimates right now, but it is still going to be pretty hard for V3 to find their way into this pit. Statue also on his way back. Husha getting pretty low. Ghost popped here from Tana. He's finding his way in. Pathmaker should be good onto 3. He's going to be at least onto 2. But 116 found his way onto Benny. Benny's going to be taken out. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And then All Out coming through onto Husha. But he's able to just Arctic Assault back into the pit. And now Ace is being looked at as Statue runs aggressively towards this Orianna. It does seem like not much more can happen. But it is the Baron picked up and a 1-for-1 in favor of BYG.
Yeah, nice little play from Tana there to try push Husha, the jungler, out of the pit to maybe steal the Baron, but just too many numbers on the side of V3, of Beyond, and too much gold. Ace can't really get in there and look for a steal at all, and Sejuani does just jump back into the pit.
For sure. Now Rapid Fire Cannon finished up here for Feng. He's an entire item and a little bit above that of Benny.
Yeah, then this is not the game you needed out of the Kai'Sa. You needed to be, you know, roles reversed, essentially. You needed to be the one up an item. Feng is just going to destroy any team fight. He was already destroying these team fights. And you kind of saw in that last skirmish right outside V3's base, against a Rumble and Smolder, when you engage on the front line, even with a high single target champ like Kai'Sa, by the time you've killed the Rel, the Smolder and Rumble have just returned so much AoE damage from massive range that the fight is still doomed. Doesn't help having a pretty massive gold disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. 23 minutes, it is the 10k, but we're just going to go all to the wall, and now there's going to be a nice equalizer, but the Magnastorm kind of drags everyone out of it, but he's able to flash away, but it's 2 quick kills in favor of BYG. They're now turning their attention towards these towers. It looks like 1 will go down. Likely to be at least 1 inhibitor, if not the game. We'll see if V3 are able to continue defending.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe the 3rd 3-man engage from Statue on the Rel. We usually see the Rel struggle as a solo engage, but with Flash, it's a lot easier. Sejuani ult actually trades for Ace's Flash there, and then Statue follows up with engage onto 3.
Okay, so Inhib number 1 does go down. Inhib number 2 now being looked at. Feng, he's flashing aggressively, but there's not a whole lot for him to find. Ooh. Tana almost landing that Natofu strike, that Q3 onto Feng. Not quite able to, and recalls will come down.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
Yeah,
there is a Dragon Soul on the horizon.
Yeah, no rush to end if you're Beyond. You've got a Soul coming up, not even 1 Dragon on the side of V3, and you are the scaling comp anyway, just by virtue of having the Smolder. So grab a Soul, and then you're in position to shove in bot lane anyway. Both TPs up if you want to deal with the other 2 lanes as well. So I think Beyond will look to end just on the next push. I don't think there's any point in waiting for a another Baron or a Dragon. Honestly, it's probably more wise to just end before the Elder comes up. I think it might even be more risky to play it slow from this point.
For sure. I think the troops can just march down that bottom lane with constant minion pressure coming through from the top and mid. As well as, honestly, you saw it just before. They're happy to dive between 2 towers, so what's 1 tower going to do to stop them?
Yeah, engage might just come down to a Sejuani ult here, or maybe a Yone ult. So not a lot in the way of engage, but these other lanes just will eventually come in.
Yeah, 116 going to make sure it happens a little bit quicker. The waves aren't synced, so it becomes a little bit harder. There's not all that much wave clear coming through from V3, so this wave now approaching. Hush is actually just going to look for it. He finds that Glacial Prison. There's a lot of lockdown coming through. Fate's Call lands onto Ace, and he's not going to be long for this world. HRK now, he's going to be absolutely annihilated as the executions are truly coming through. Thing with yet another multi-kill. It's a triple that time. Almost 4,000 damage yet again in the team fight. But he's trying to stop the minion waves from crashing. But when you are 1v5 as the Kai'Sa, there is not a whole lot you can do. Killer Instinct trying to dodge out of that crash down will do so. But one singular Super Fire Breath will confirm that game number 1 is going to go to the home team, Beyond Gaming.
Yeah, a couple moments for V3 in the early game, especially when they got that dive successfully onto the Smolder. It looked like they might be able to get something going on the bot lane, but pretty disastrous dragon fight.